Welcome to a very special episode here on the O'Shea Duke Jackson channel, man. Today, we're going to be talking about how black men should stay focused on their goals, even when they're hit with adversity, and even dealing sometimes with the white media. And I want to use a great example on how to stay composed by dealing with our test subject today, Eric Bienemy. And Eric Bienemy is a former NFL running back playing for the Chargers, the Bengals, and the Eagles. But the last 20 years, he's been making a lot of noise, at least the last 17, 18 years, as a coach. He's been a running backs coach and more consistently, or at least right now, consistently been an offensive coordinator, one of the better ones in the NFL. And because of his success as a NFL coordinator on the offense, he has now been looking at head coaching opportunities, which many people believe that with his experience, he deserves, right? I want to talk about some of the jobs that he's interviewed for. I believe he interviewed for the Panthers head coaching job. I believe he also interviewed for the Giants job, and I'll deal with those two. The Panthers job, many people felt that he should have got. That was Matt Rule, college coach with no NFL experience, got a $60 million deal for seven years. And the Giants, who hired Joe Judge, who also doesn't have as much experience, playing or maybe coaching that Eric Bienemy does, he was also overlooked. Now, Eric Bienemy is an African American, and these guys are white. And the Rooney Rule says that since 2003, you must interview a certain amount of non-white coaches or candidates, African American or Hispanic. But Eric Bienemy didn't get those jobs. And you're going to see he's going to go into a press conference, with the Kansas City Chiefs organization. And people know that, he probably is a little bit upset he didn't get the job. He might even feel personally that he experienced some racism and that he was overlooked. But I want you to see how Eric Bienemy has increased his opportunities to be a head coach, but how he handled these questions from these people in the media. And I want black men to really pay attention to how the brother really handles these questions. People are trying to get him off focus. People are trying to get him off code. People are trying to get him to make a mistake to make him ruin himself in his future. But Eric Bienemy is just much more intelligent than them, and he's much more smarter than them. And I want you to see how he handles this adversity as a smart brother. Now, he's going to be taking some questions about the Kansas City Chiefs game against the Houston Texans next week. So let's show how he pretty much deals with the situation.
How we doing today?
So let's start here in the beginning of the interview. You see how he says, how we're doing today. He has a very positive attitude. He's smiling. Now, this is a guy who's went out on 3 head coaching interviews. He's not gotten any of those jobs. He's been pretty much beat out by guys with a worse record or not even as much experience as he does. But when addressing the media, he's very excited to be there. He has a positive attitude. He's smiling. How are we doing today?
How we doing today?
Now, pause that. He might even be having a bad day, okay? But Eric Bienemy is putting his best foot forward. He knows that he's been overlooked. It's probably racism, but he's not going to complain about it. He's going to continue to keep pushing forward, and he's going to answer these questions and make these people look stupid because that's what he does, right? And he knows that he wants to be an NFL coach in the future, so he's not going to allow a bad attitude or a bad circumstance or the fact that he get those other jobs stop his growth. He's going to use that to his advantage and to show other coaches or other organizations that if you hire me, I'm going to be able to go and represent your organization in the media, okay? And that's another thing that black men need to understand. You are a representation of who you're working for or your brand wherever you are. And Eric Bienemy is already doing that by having a positive attitude. Let's continue to the clip.
How excited are you? You're excited all the time. Does it go up a notch for the playoffs?
It always goes up a notch. Everything goes up a notch. It's playoff time. This is, everything that we work for. But one thing we don't want to do, we don't want to peak too soon. So we just want to make sure that we're managing our emotions, making sure we're taking the necessary steps to get ready for this game.
Do you see anything in practice, though? Do you see see anything in practice? Like guys are getting extra hyped right now, this minute, they want to play?
Of course. Guys are always hyped. They're always excited. But we have enough leadership on this team to make sure, like I said, managing everyone's emotions. We want to be at our best when our best is needed. And the thing that we need to do is make sure that we're making the most of the process right now. All right? Making sure that we maximize yesterday's practice, but also understanding the importance of maximizing the opportunity that we all have when walking into this building today. That's going to help us to have the success that is needed on Sunday.
Coach, there's been a lot of conversation about the Rooney Rule. You have reportedly gone through 4 interviews this year. What will happen is still one job open, still remains. But do you have any comment as to whether or not the Rooney Rule is working, whether it's doing what it was designed to do, and whether African-American coaches are getting the opportunities they should?
Well, I'll say this. I had an opportunity to interview for 3 jobs. And one thing I can say, I had a great process, a great discussion. And each and every interview is different. But at the end of the day, now all of my focus has turned on to what? The Houston Texans.
All right, so guys, you heard what he's saying in that particular statement. He's focused on the task at hand, okay? He's not trying to make anything about him. He's talking about the team, what his job duties are, what he needs to be doing. He's keeping it focused and on code about what's good for the team, what's his task at hand, what he needs to carry out to be successful in the organization. That's what he's doing. He's doing an excellent job at noticing that and really preaching that. Now, his other situations is outside of that job, he's not bringing to the table. He's only dealing with what he should be focused on, which is winning this game. Let's go to the next clip.
All right, to piggyback off of that, yes, it's a blessing. It's always great to be mentioned. It's always great to have that opportunity to be considered in those roles. But when it's all said and done with, I work for a great organization. I work for a great boss. I work for a great owner. And on top of that, okay, we got some great people in this building that we going to go out there and line up and play against these Texans with.
So Eric Bienemy really shows how intelligent he is, because here's the question that they're trying to get him off task. The reporter is not even asking him about the NFL game that they have, which he should be asking about, but he's talking about the jobs basically that Eric Bienemy didn't get. And pretty much does he feel that the owners of the NFL league is racist against African-American coaches? Now, Eric Bienemy could not even address that question. He could have said, well, you know what? I don't want to talk about that right now. Let's focus on to the game. But he actually met the question head on, okay? And at the minute and 48-second mark, he also talks about, I want to piggyback on that.
All right, to piggyback off of that, yes.
So he pretty much talks about, he had a great opportunity interviewing. It was a great process. But now he wants to talk about the game and the piggyback. In other words, I want to explain this once so that you get it. I work for a great organization. I have a great team, okay? I work for a great boss. I have a great staff, okay? We need to be focused on all my energy is about this game this week. That's behind me. I don't want to deal with that at this point, all right? So let's continue on with the interview.
Listen, I know we've had a discussion. I'm here to ask the questions. I know this isn't your preferred line, but
okay.
You're the guy you're the tip of the spear right now, right? I mean, is the Rooney Rule working, yes or no?
Like I said, I had an opportunity to interview, okay? That should say it all, It was a great conversation. Now it's on to the game.
What kind of feedback have you gotten from either those teams or other people, friends of yours in the business after the interviews?
And here's the thing, and I'm going to put this out there. It's time to play against the Houston Texans, all right? You guys got to understand it. You guys know me, all right? My focus is on the Houston Texans, all right? One thing I want our guys to realize, we don't want to go backwards to have to go forward. Meaning what? First of all, remember that feeling that we had when we came in here after that New England game, all right? That's not anything that we want to have, all right? So we got to make sure we're eliminating all the distractions. We got to make sure we're mentally and getting physically prepared to play against our opponent, who's a hell of an opponent. Okay, they did a hell of a job, all right, against us early in the season, and hell, it showed this past weekend too.
All right, so we see again how the reporter asked him the same question the other person did: is the Rooney Rule working? All right, so 2003, the Rooney Rule is just set in place that teams must interview at least one minority candidate for every job vacancy. The guy just said that he's been on 3 interviews. So obviously the Rooney Rule doesn't guarantee employment, it guarantees interviews. But he doesn't get upset. He didn't say, didn't I just answer that, dude? Like, why do you keep answering? See, that's what they want. They want him to be easily frustrated. They want him to be the angry black male stereotype. But he's not rude with them, okay? He takes the question in stride. He answers the question. He firmly lets them know, hey, that doesn't matter. I'm here to play the game. I'm here to deal with what I'm dealing with my team. I want to get my team ready. Please ask me questions about the game. All right. So I want to just close it out. They're trying to get him all focused. They're trying to get him to be the stereotypical black guy. But look at how he uses this to his advantage. All right. Let me give my last commentary on this and we'll end. A lot of brothers, in closing, want to do things in, the corporate structure that, that the white man has, whether it's the NFL, the NBA, corporate America. Brothers know that they're going to be disappointed. Okay. They may be qualified, but if you want to get a job in the NFL, you need to be able to deal with, with some adversity. A lot of black men do not know how to handle situations like this well. All right. Eric Bienemy is showing the character of a coach, the way he's handling the press, the way he's handling the media, the way he's handling the brand. This is a brother that if I owned the NFL team, I would want him to be my coach. I would want him to be my coach. Look what he's dealing with. OK, he's dealing with people who don't have any respect for what he's saying. He's answered it nice. They're trying to draw it out of him. But the brother is on focus. He's on cold. What am I telling you is this? A lot of times as a brother, you're going to be dealing with adversity. You're going to be dealing with no's. You're going to be dealing with you've given it your best shot. But you can control how you respond to things. Eric Bienemy is an example of that. A lot of black men really need to get this through their heads, all right? You don't get back at people by complaining about the white man system in the corporate America. You don't go public. You don't trash the owners that you want to work for. You don't do what Colin Kaepernick did. No, you stay positive and somebody will give you a shot. Now, this is what I want to say in closing. Stay focused on what you need to be doing. That's what you should be doing. Focused on doing what your goals are. At that time, Eric Bienemy's focus is on the Houston Texans. He wants to get his unit ready to play. You need to be ready also to perform and be ready to do the same things every day. So, also I want to bring some attention to our new store that we have at NegroManosphere.com. Check the link. I'll have Demo Point there to the description on Teespring. Our Black Men Are Perfect t-shirts that we're selling. Brothers, I wanted to always design merch, but I wanted to design it with a purpose. And I wanted black men to have something that they could be proud of when they go out in the streets, they go out to the gym, they go out any place. I wanted brothers to be able to have something that will shock the world. And this t-shirt is just it. Black Men Are Perfect. Because a lot of times we have been talked about in ways that brothers are not perfect. But look at how Eric Bienemy handled this situation. Perfect, right? In a great way. He's a thinker. He outthought the adversary in this to even probably raise his standard to become a coach. So celebrate your perfection as a black man. Buy this shirt, wear it, get it for your nephews. If you're a wife, get it for your husband. Show the world that you actually should be getting credit for the great things that you do, like our brother Eric Bienemy. And as you know, make sure you like, subscribe, watch the video. The buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.